Welcome back, everybody. This is Brothermutant here. Today we're going to continue our journey on Path of Evil. Now, if you recall from our last episode, we just broke into the Illithid's encampment. We haven't fought them as far as you guys are aware, but I've actually fought them on multiple occasions because I keep having some sort of sound issue with this recording. I'm not sure if it's the game or if it's literally some kind of new driver that I've downloaded, so I've updated the drivers again, hoping that solves the problem. But because I've already saved past this point, I want to show you the area, explain to you what I did in a nutshell so you guys at least see it. I'm not going to repeat it because that just seems dumb. I already have the save file and I finally beat not only these guys, which aren't horrible, but they can be, but also beat some other guys which are horrible, and I'll show you that fight as well. Now the first trick down here is, you see we're already buffed up. We have the leader. Now if you talk to him, he'll just straight up, you'll choose to fight him, and that's fine. But these guys will spam the hell out of a move that basically confuses and stuns and basically wrecks your team if you're not careful. But when I came back repeatedly to fight them, I noticed a couple things. One is I see a Illithid merchant, which we have neutral, and we can talk to him. So that presented an opportunity, which we'll get to in a moment. We also have a sickly Illithid here, and there's actually a little role-playing choice that you can do if one of your teammates have some survival or healing skill close by. Watch this. So you see that I have the attack, or the end the conversation category, but you see the one guy that's highlighted here has some heal survival skill granted option. One of your companions does not seem well. Truth, it is not contagious, so it will either get well or die. Do you care whether it lives or dies? It is ill sense its will whether it lives or dies. Now notice this, we have charisma, wisdom, or intelligence options for all kinds of people here. I'm going to go with intelligence since mine's the highest. Then you do not care. No, it is weak. This is going to be easier than I thought. And you attack the weak Illithid. So now we can actually do that and just straight up just attack him right in front of his buds, and he won't do squat and doodly. But you see that little green aura that we got over Kavas? That's kind of what these guys will spam on everybody. And it is the... Oh, looks like it's wearing off already. But yeah. Easy enough to take him out by himself, but when all these guys are spamming that move, boy, it gets really gnarly really quick. So he's stunned, even though it doesn't really say it here. He actually has a penalty right now. So, talk to the merchant. There is a trick to this one. First, let's get the hell out of here in dialogue. If you were to do this the way I did it before, you would pick Kavas.
Your command.
You would buff him up with his appraise spell. What's that one called? Appraising touch. Lasts a long time and a +10 to insight on your appraise checks. I can buff him up even further with Fox's cunning, which I have, which will give him another 4 points to intelligence. And then I can buff him even more with greater heroism, which after everything was said and done would rock his appraise skill from the meager, what is it, 6 up to 22. I'm not going to redo that because that's a lot of time wasted, and I don't think you guys care that much. But if you basically click on him after you've buffed him up, you have to select Kavas again and then talk to the traders, and then you get the discounted price. Now, these prices are pretty high because Kavas isn't buffed, but they were already pretty darn high. The things that I'm going to walk through will be the things that I purchased last time. It's stuff that I thought about but didn't do. First off, book wisdom, intelligence, charisma bumps, basically how to craft those items, as well as medallion of thought, which would provide you immunity to mind affecting spells and effects. Really nice little trinket if you can make it. I bought the glowing earth essence. I did not get the bag of holding because I already have one and I have a partial one, so it seemed kind of costly. These items, I don't understand what they do. They don't really give you much information other than the Illithids probably use them, so I didn't waste money on them. They could be useful. I didn't buy them, and I never tested them out. I bought the phase spider mandibles because even though I can't actually turn them into anything right now because I don't have a mortar and pestle, the fact that you would get 2 essences, a glowing power and a glowing water essence off of them, will seem pretty good idea. You know, that's the one of them that's costing the $8.91. This one I can break down into 2. So I bought all 3 of those. Did not get the salamander hide, but if you want to have some armor that is fire resistant, this would be something to buy. From there, these totems provide basically feats for free. So this one here in particular is pretty important. skill focus lore, skill focus spellcraft for free just for having it on your character. It's more pricey than the other two, but these ones provide Iron Will or resist poison. I could see having them and being relatively useful. You don't get them permanently. You don't get them for characters that are holding the totem, but still pretty darn cool. Over here, the only thing really to point out would be the Necklace of Prayer Beads, which I did not get. It has 50 charges, but notice how this is basically a pocket cleric. You get basically bless free, 0 charges per use, bless every time you want to cast it. From that would last for like 2 minutes. And you cure serious wounds, remove blindness and deafness, remove disease, which cost charges. But that's still a really good trinket. I could see getting that. I did not, but I can see the importance of it. Freedom of movement, sorcerer power. This one actually might be useful, but we don't have a sorcerer on the team. But that +2 to charisma, that spell resistance, and the bonus to spell slots. That's kind of cool. Ring of the Ram provides you with Iron Will for free, wearing it, of course. And it also gives you 50 charges to use knock. This would actually be something that I would have purchased in favor of buying, what was it called, the Chime of Opening that I have on this character. I didn't realize that I had this option until now, but this would have been better. Still get the knock spells for free, 50 of them, and you get to wear a ring that basically gives you Iron Will. Who wouldn't like that? So Ancient Sermon I did buy, though, and look at this little bad boy. 3 natural armor class, and this of course is for our cleric. Level 1, 2, and 3 spell slots free. That was pretty nice, so I totally went that way, and also bought the Wand of Bane and gave that to Karen here. This allows her to cast Bane 50 times before the wand burns up, and that allows me to take Bane off of his list and put like healing or something else more useful. But that would give her something to do in fights that wouldn't, threaten me or my team. We had some spells that we purchased. Could use most of them. If I can't use them or I'm not allowed to, then she uses them or we'll save them for later. And I also bought like a potion of heal. We only had 1. If I was smarter, I would have bought some these potions of critical and serious wounds, perhaps. Maybe even some death armor. But I didn't, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. Other stuff that we bought. Now watch this one. Well, fire bolts, we bought those, and I bought some acid darts because they're cheap and do some decent extra damage. They're magical, so I could see giving a set to Kavath. I think I gave him 2 sets, possibly 1, I can't remember. Bullets of Smiting, while they look appealing, we found this little bad boy down here for super cheap. And watch this. If this is, I'm not mistaken, this is infinite bullets. It replenishes itself and pops back into the sling after it strikes its target, and it gives us a ridiculous amount of damage. 6 bludgeoning extra, 1d6 sonic extra, plus the damage of the bullet itself. Now I have an enchanted sling on Tan. He got this bullet. We haven't tested it yet, but certainly if it works, that's definitely worth the money. If it only fires once and then we wasted it once, that's kind of a waste of money. But it says it will replenish itself. These other ones were, nice, I guess. Nothing particularly that stood out as being woohoo. The fire bullets, I think, were something that I passed on, but I may have bought a set for him just in case, because you never know when that's going to come in handy. The Dart of Accuracy, on the other hand, now this little bad boy, I didn't buy him. They're pricey, but I could see the importance of this one. 1d4 damage plus 5. So we're talking 6 to 9 points of damage with every dart, and there's 50 of them. Kind of cool, and you get a plus 5 to hit with them too, so these are pretty sweet. I did not buy them. Over here, the only thing that I bought was the belt, and I gave it to her, to Karen, because she has a belt just like it, so do I. But mine is better, not as good a stats as this. Her belt pales in comparison. Hers is a +1 deflection, +1 strength. By giving her this and selling her belt, I get some money back. B, I also give her another 1 to her armor class because of the deflection bump, and I also give +2 more points to her strength, which ended on an even number. That was important because if I did it to my character, I would end on an odd number, and it didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. So keep it to evens. From there, I bought these Zan bracers, 30 extra hit points on any character that wears them. That's a big oomph for hit points, even at this level. And I gave them to actually Tan. He didn't have hand set, so I'm like, well, I don't mind putting it on the meat stick that's going to be in the front row. It puts him up and over the cleric, and I thought that was a pretty good idea. There's all kinds of other good stuff here, though. I mean, the Cloak of Black Flame, level of ability drain, and it's cheap. I can see that being handy. I can see Cloak of Movement, but we already have a ring that provides the same thing for Kavas. And he also gets free, resistance to like electrical and cold damage or something. The only other thing that really stood out to me as being something that I might have gotten would be these Gargoyle Boots. +2 dodge armor class bump. +3 fortitude for a saving throw increase. And you get Stone Skin that you can cast on yourself up to 10 times for 7-hour length increments. That's pretty cool. I could see putting that on like our tank, but I didn't. Maze robes were good, but it's pricey, and it wasn't something that a wizard would grab. I mean, they're not going to be slashed all that much, and poison shouldn't be that big of an issue because you're not going to get into melee. Mirror Shield is important because of spell resistance, and it's a nice +3 shield to boot, but I passed on it. Monk Belt, obviously, only a few people could use it on my team because of use magic device. The haste once per day was kind of impressive, and then the unarmed strike could be kind of useful. But these would be things, again, like it shows, be better for a monk, an unarmed combatant. Robes of Infusing are way too much. But man, did they look sexy, and boy, did I really want to get them. That spell resistance and these 2 skill bonuses alone were pretty impressive. Then you give me a 3, 4, and 5 spell slot for free, and a +2 armor to boot. I could see the use of that. So I didn't get it because it's pricey, but it's one of those things. Now, after all that was said and done, we bought what we needed, sold what we wanted, and I did sell off some stuff. Only real thing of note would have been, let me show it to you, this scythe. They bought for like 20 G's, and while it's impressive, it has an armor class penalty to it. I'm not saying that was a bad idea. It was one of those where I couldn't see getting more than 20 grand out of it anyway, and I'm like, that's a pretty good buy. We had plenty of other weapons, so I'm not worried about that. The thing that I was worried about was, say it right, when we go back and talk to the lady that basically has enslaved us, the evil Drow bitch, we're supposed to not tell her about Imbrandul. You know, the fact that that elf that's imprisoned was looking for the dead god's body. Well, this is kind of proof that he was right, and I was afraid of bringing that back to our area and having her be like, oh my god, and attacking us. So I said, maybe we should sell it anyway, and that's what I did. Now, I don't know that it would cause a problem. Maybe it won't cause a problem, but I wasn't going to risk it, and I really wasn't in the mood to try to prove that everything was going to be okay. So I will do things like haste for this next part. And if you go talk to him, and at this point you can just say, House Middle has come to reclaim these tunnels and attack, and everyone just mug the son of a bitch. Because they will spam, and it will be nasty, but the trick is we can bring usually one guy with us, and that guy is enough to like whoop them all up.
Now you shall taste my power. Now you shall taste my power.
You know, like I said, these guys are pretty nasty, but usually if you get one physical combatant, Tam was our choice this time around. You can do some pretty good damage to those guys, and you really only need one good one. For some reason, that sickly Illithid was enough to put us up and over the top where we got hosed, but for whatever reason, it was easy peasy once that sick Illithid was dead. I don't understand why. Maybe it's because I was prepared, I don't know. But point was, is we got our tentacles. We got more tentacles than she asked for. We got 3 right there, and 3 more from killing the other little goober. So we got 4, and this always happens with my armor too, by the way. Not sure what that's about. It's good stuff. You know, we have pretty decent armor, got pretty decent weapons. We sold a bunch of stuff, got some decent spells. This is a decent area. If this sound glitch goes away, I'll be ecstatic. Right now, it sounds like every 3, and it's like on a cycle, like every 3 to 5 minutes, it makes some retarded noise, like I can't even really explain. Kind of like clicking, almost like you're in dial-up. Not quite that loud and obnoxious, but certainly enough to notice it while I'm talking or while the game's sound effects are going on. It's clearly distorted and it's really starting to annoy me. Other things to point out was we have, of course, our Drow smoker that we could pay to get us out of dodge. I think that's been put in there just so if you've made a mistake and you realize you cannot handle this area, that's a way for you just to waste your money and get the hell out of here. I'm not saying it's a great idea, but it is an idea, so it's a possibility. The other thing here is the Drow merchant out here that you can talk to. The downside of him is there really doesn't appear to be a whole hell of a lot that he has to offer. I'm taking E just to get my spells back. There's really not a whole lot he has to offer. Maybe I could see an arguing getting like an adamantine dagger for reasonably cheap, or an adamantine rapier or something like that. Other than that, he really didn't have anything worth a whole hell of a lot, in my opinion. Now, here's the last fight that we had. Now, first, let me tell you how this is going to go down. First, we're going to talk to her. I'm not going to buff up because we're not going to fight her. We're going to do exactly what we did before. You return. Have you done what I have required of you? I have the Illithid tentacles you require. Is that so? Let me have them. I have more to report. Go ahead. Zekith lies dead. This news is pleasant to my ears. Zekith was an unfortunate mistake of mine. Now you have erased the mistake. I have more to report. Go ahead. Now see, this gives you the option of using the tentacles again, and I think that's a glitch. I notice I still have them on me, which is kind of annoying. So I'm not going to redo it, because I think I might get extra XP each time. So I'm going to keep going on like I finished that one already. I have the House Bennett seal. Is that so? Let me have it. I have more to report. Go ahead. Now this is the choice where we could say the elf was looking for God Ibrindol, whom he believes died somewhere not far in the Underdark, but your journal specifically said that this was probably a bad idea to tell her this. Notice how we have a bluff option, and if you were smart you would have buffed up, say, greater heroism to make sure that you could do this one. But I'm going to give it a shot because I did it by pure dumb luck and it actually worked. If it doesn't work, you have to do the other one. I do know that much because I've done this mission so many times. But the ideal outcome is the bluff succeeding. So watch this. The elf was the bodyguard of a surfacer wizard. After an attempt on the wizard's life, the wizard teleported him into the Underdark for his failure. Yeah, bluff success. Bonus XP for ideal outcome. Is that so? Well, the elf has a long life of slavery ahead of him then. I don't care. It's not me. Continue to listen. Now, she's all proud of us. You have completed all my tasks then, Surfacer. If I had known of your confidence, I would have made the task more difficult. But you have held your end of the bargain, and now I will do the same. I will have the city gates unlocked so you may leave and continue on whatever journey has brought you here. End the conversation. And that would be the end of it. Now, I have leveled up, and so has two of my other teammates. And we took that to heart and actually did level up. I went one more level of Pale Master, got a couple spells. She went another level of Wizard, got a couple of spells. And he got another level of Cleric, got some spells. Also, he got a Wisdom point. I got an Intelligence point, so did she. So my Intelligence is now 19, hers is 18. His Wisdom is 16. The reason that that's important is he was missing his level 6 spells because he did not have a high enough Wisdom. This rectified that, gave me 3 level Wisdom, 6 spells because of that Wisdom bump. Very useful. The spells that I picked for the two of these two, or sorry, for myself and Karkarin, was I picked unique spells because I realized in the last few episodes back that we were not allowed to actually write scrolls of the newest spells and trade them back and forth. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to get them, I'm going to have to get them the old-fashioned way, which means learning them on level up. Now, I could have done the same for her, but what's the point? Because she's not going to stay with me. She's just a teenie. So I decided to make spells that she could scribe into scrolls or wands and pass them off to me. So that's what I did with her spell choices. His spell choices doesn't matter because he's a cleric, he can get whatever the hell he wants. But when we did this next fight, there was 2 spells that were highly important. One is I made sure he had a spell pet. I wanted to say it was a planar ally. He summoned a succubus, and man, that bitch was mean. And she summoned an undead. Matter of fact, I think both of them summoned an undead, create undead, matter of fact, and they both made a mummy. I made my animate dead, so we had our skeleton, and man, we just had pets everywhere. Another trick was, because I'd fought in this fight before, I put Mutasin here,
Stay your blades.
Yes, it will be done. Wait here for
I had
now.
her over here,
Yes.
Kavas with her for a reason, and I'll show you that here in a mo.
I'll take the lead.
And I had Tan over here right up on the Biatch's grill along with me. Now again, we had pets out, and like I had my animate skeleton, we buffed everybody, and blah blah blah. The other trick though was before starting the fight, since you know what's going to happen because I'm telling you, you want to put on silence on your main character here. It's friendly because it's an aura. After buffing up and using all your spells and all that good stuff. I don't know why his spells are not all showing up. Yeah, see, he's had his spells wiped for some reason. He must have took a wisdom penalty or something that wiped him clean. Maybe those the Illithids did that. Ooh, that was nasty. Anyway, point is, silence aura around him. And the reason that was important is I'll show you the fight here in a second. But if you go silence friendly, after buffing up and blah, and all your pets out, blah, 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 you basically get that ready, you talk to her, I have no further need of you, nor I of you, and you attack. And now watch what happens on the attack. Like, almost immediately, everybody goes to hell in a handbasket. We got Drow there, we got Drow behind us, she's here, Tan has to mess with her, this Drow shows up out of nowhere. This one's over here with Kavas. And he's basically screwed pooch. Karkarin does what she can, but there's only so much that she can do. She gets like mugged in a heartbeat. Let's actually do some major missiles on this bastard. I'm just gonna unload until she basically dies. Because she will die. She will die super quick. Especially since we didn't pre-buff up. But like I said, you'll see spells flying everywhere. The thing that saves us is the fact that he basically is over here and he's popping these guys down. They have to go hand to hand. They can't use their spells. So he starts wiping them out.
Royal fury, guide my hand.
Okay, these guys are pretty nasty. Come on, dude. Everybody attack. Yeah, these spells. I mean, we got confusion going on here. We got all kinds of nastiness. So there's bad stuff everywhere we go. And we get, like, say, we get smacked pretty darn hard if we're not careful. Yeah, you see these guys are really kind of cooking us pretty bad here. Kavas had him teleport right on him, so he can't really even move anywhere. Yeah. So, as you see, the fight's not going well. You also get these guys that are over here summon these damn Fiendish Nightmares. They do fire damage, more pets, and basically just kick her butt. I mean, she hasn't even taken any damage. I mean, that should be proof to you how annoying she's going to be. We do it because we were buffed up, which I was not this time. We leveled up, which I was not this time. And we pulled every trick out that I could think of. Because I really wanted her dead. Once was just as a joke. And it's a mission you guys never saw. And I'm like, well, shit, that was harder than I thought it'd be. So I'm like, well, I'll just buff up and just do it again. And I just couldn't figure it out. The saving grace was when Mutassin was fully leveled up, had all his spells, everyone was buffed, pets were all out, and I pinched off a corner with that silence spell. He's toe-to-toe with all three of those guys and just slaughtered them. This time he had trouble because he wasn't buffed and wasn't high enough level. Tan barely survived and helped kill her. And then went about killing these guys with my help. Kavas did too. She actually, Karkarin actually survived that fight, the one you guys did not see. I know. But she was buffed, and she was, like she had like mirror image and ghost of visage, and hell, I even thrown the male might of the mage lords on her. So she was pimped out as best she could be, and she still took a smacking, but she did not die. And once we killed off these guys over here, and then these guys fell after she died, she was tough. These guys over here and their pets took a while, but we basically whooped on them and they died. Now I'm going to show you what we did after by loading up the save file, the one that we will start our next mission on officially back So hopefully after this, fixing this glitch. So I did with this just to show you that A, everyone died, B, that my team is here still, and C, all the different equipment-ish that we picked up. I thought it would be some serious epic loot. There was a couple things that were cool. By and large, there was a whole hell of a lot, though. Again, this armor glitch, where every time I start, my armor's off me. I'm not sure why it does that. Let's start down blue tossing, because one was this Eberron's flail, and that I'm fairly certain came from the main bitch. Pretty decent. Crits does 3 times the damage. You gotta love this weapon. +2 enhancement to it already. Relatively light-ish, I guess. Good damage range too. Crits on a 20. Bludgeoning, which means we can't use our typical spell, Keen Edges, that came from its scabbard, to buff it. But we can do Weapon of Impact, and it does the same thing. So it'll be on a critting on a 19 or a 20, and it will do 3 times the damage. Gives an innate spell resistance of 14 when it's equipped. Pretty decent weapon. At the very least, it's selling material. From there, just to point out his necklace, again, extra slots, natural armor class. And that armor really helps a lot more than you think. He could have always have chugged up Mark skin, and I should have when I did this last fight. But I didn't when I did the original fight for anybody, so I was like, well, I'll just not do it this time. But that would have been another good buff that you could have employed to make sure you got through the fight with some hand-to-hand duking it out. Getting your armor to like the 30s is a good way of making the bad guys sweat for it. From there, here's her Wand of Bane. Took her lightning wand from her, gave it to me because she kept spamming it on us and pissing me off. But here's her new belt. And again, deflection and strength, you see the importance of that. Her armor class doesn't look anything remotely impressive, but it's there. And she has now 12 strength. She also got the Amulet of Vitality, which came from Mutasin. When he got his necklace, he passed his off to her, which gave her an increase to her con and some hit points, which is needed, of course, too. She has some more spells and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, yes.
Tan. He has, what did he get, anything? Yeah, he's, there's his Shao Lung Wall Fragment. We never tested it out, and there's his bracers. Again, the extra 30 hit points, extremely useful in that last fight in particular. Kavas, rockin', Agazi's ring is the one that gave him the Freedom of Moon I was mentioning about earlier. He got some acid darts, and is that basically it, buddy? Yeah, and I keep forgetting to use his damn poison like always. I swear I suck at remembering that thing. But he's still rocking pretty good stuff, and I think he got like a spell or two just up here, dumb look. Elven Chainmail, of course, is looking real good on him right now. And from there...
What?
And we still have these illithid tentacles. We still have the B'nai Seal, because we picked that up when we killed her off. Nothing else strikes me as being important. Something that we found, for instance. But I'm sure I'm missing something. Again, the lightning wand, I have 2 of them. One from her, one from me. And yeah, we got our books and our essences and stuff we bought. And of course, we put away the spells that we could not ascribe to her. All the power word spells are divine, and I'm not allowed to use them, even though it says I could. I remember when I get to Red Wizard, I will not be able to use a divine, and I'm going to stick with that rule. Other than that, like, we have some stuff to sell, nothing fancy. But by and large, it was a pretty good fight. It was rough, and like I said, I've done it multiple times. I just wanted to show you the end of it. We fought the people over here, here. I think there's like 1 or 2 people in the back, maybe like 1 or 2 people over here. But then you have to go find them, and they were easy peasy once you killed off this main group. So be careful when you wander around looking for treasure. If you guys are weak, take a knee, heal up, then go explore. But we got some decent loot for it, and I was pretty happy. Now, I know this isn't our typical video. I just wasn't willing to go back and repeat everything we've just done. I just wanted to show you the general gist of it, what we basically did, and I'll test to see if this damn sound glitch that I've been doing when I record, it goes away. So I'm going to check that now here in a moment. But with that, my name's Brothermutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.